Greetings, friends. Prepare for another thrilling journey as we delve into Reddit's most bizarre tales. We're plunging deep into the quirkiest corners of the web. Grab your popcorn and join us on this adventure. Remember to hit subscribe and like. Let's begin. I'm going to dive straight into this. My wife and I have been together for nearly 10 years. We have a 7-year-old daughter and a 3-year-old son. We first connected through a dating app called Plenty of Fish. Initially, she wasn't interested due to the distance between us, about an hour and a half away. However, I was persistent, and eventually, she agreed to start talking. As we got to know each other, I discovered that she was still in a relationship, which she portrayed as unhealthy and wanting to end. Despite my better judgment, I continued our conversations. Eventually, she ended things with her previous partner, and we began a long-distance relationship. At that time, I was starting an apprenticeship at a tattoo shop, and things were progressing well for me. I've always been a romantic, and I quickly fell for her. I even told her I loved her over the phone one night. After completing my apprenticeship and establishing myself, she moved to my town, and we lived together at my parents' house while saving for our own place. During that period, everything seemed great, and we ended up expecting our daughter. She had been working regular jobs but decided to pursue her master's degree, which led her to quit a good job and take a position at a grocery store. She was always quite concerned about how others perceived her and felt that people at her job were unkind. She quit without notice, and I took it in stride, working harder to support us until she found a new job after our daughter was born. We eventually moved into our own house, and things seemed to be falling into place. We had the occasional disagreement, but nothing that felt like a serious issue. I had been married once before when I was about 19, and that marriage lasted only 3 months. She had been unfaithful, and I decided to end things. But back to the present, I've always been a larger person, standing at 6 feet 1 inch and over 300 pounds. My wife is also larger, but I've never based my attraction solely on appearances. Trouble began when I gained more weight, and she also struggled with weight. I've always had a hard time maintaining a healthy lifestyle, and she expressed a loss of attraction towards me, asking me to lose weight. I started going to the gym and eating better, and I did lose some weight initially. However, I eventually fell back into old habits and regained the weight. During this period, we became pregnant with our son. Our marriage went through a rough patch, and she faced complications during pregnancy. Our son spent some time in the NICU, and this was all happening amidst the height of Infidelity. When our son came home, things seemed to stabilize, but then tragedy struck. Her father died in a car accident. I had a close relationship with him and tried my best to support her, but she seemed to push me away. She was also unhappy with my earnings as a tattoo artist, so I made a complete career change to help desk work, even though it didn't fulfill me. During her grieving period, I sensed something was amiss. She was increasingly distant and attached to her phone, which led to frequent arguments. One day, I decided to check her phone and discovered texts revealing she had been communicating with another man, including video chats and explicit content. I confronted her in a highly emotional state, and she apologized, though I suspect her remorse was more about being caught than genuine regret. Since then, she claims to have cut off contact with the other man, but I can't shake the feeling that she might not be truthful. She reacts with intense anger whenever I bring it up, accusing me of being controlling if I ask for her location or inquire about her activities on weekends. I'm exhausted and terrified of the possibility that if I were to divorce her, she might try to take our children away from me. I'm aware that I'm not blameless in this situation and have made efforts to change, but I struggle to maintain progress. It hurts that when I ask her why she cheated, she can't provide a clear answer, though she mentioned something about trauma bonding with the other man. My questions are, 1. Is she exhibiting narcissistic traits? And 2. How should I approach the process of divorce? I am overwhelmed with fear at the thought of taking this step, and am anxious about how she might react if she discovers this discussion.